Here we go. All right, Shalom. This is the I.S.U.P.K. Atlanta. This is the Wednesday night biblical law class, and we're gonna get right into it. The topic today is Jada, the Jezebel Smith. All right, anybody familiar with Jezebel? All right, Jezebel. You can go ahead.
Yeah, she like one of the first known whores in the Bible.
Yep. Well, necessarily, she wasn't a whore as in slept with a bunch of men, but she was whoring another way. We're gonna bring that out. Everybody, it's like a Christian thing. Everybody think of her as being a whore,
right?
But that's not the evil that she's known for doing. You get what I'm saying? Just like anything, when you learn, like when you're a Christian and you learn certain things, you're gonna learn it through the Christian lens. You're not gonna learn what the truth of matters.
Conference line.
Huh?
Conference line.
What was that?
Conference line. Conference line.
Oh yeah, I'm on the conference line. This on. All right, who just joined? Hey, Shalom on Christ out. All right, so that's the topic. It's talking about Jada Jezebel Smith, right? All right. Now we all know, we've seen it all, how basically she emasculated Will. You see, she's done that all over and over and over again, right? The first thing that happened was, when it came out, the story about her having an affair with her son's friend, August Alsina, right? Because you gotta understand the mind of these type of people. Like, this the type of person that will call a man a narcissist, but that's the real narcissist. Like, men, we get called narcissists all the time, right, by women, but then you really find out the real narcissists be a lot of times these women, right? They get like a manly spirit on them, and the thing of it is like a narcissist is somebody that is like self-absorbed, but then the big thing about it, they lack empathy for anybody else. That's what shows somebody that's narcissist. And you can see how even Jada, she shows signs of narcissism, right? She brought her husband, the one that's the only reason why she's living good that she is, because let's be honest, like her career ain't doing well. How is her career doing good? When the last movie you seen with Jada Pinkett? What, Woo? You know what I'm saying? What's the last movie you seen of her?
Jason Leary.
That's what I'm saying. She was not in any movies, man. Like, she ain't really been on since like the 90s, right? It probably got something to do with the way she act. Like, you can go back on interviews, countless interviews, and see that this woman, she's still in love with Tupac. She's still in love with Tupac, a dead man. She got Will, who is alive, but she's in love with a dead man. Because she's in love with basically, I'm not saying he never existed, but this is a figment of her imagination. And then because of that, nobody will ever compete with Tupac. Nobody ever, in her mind, will compete with him. Even her husband of 30 years? Damn near, 30 years they've been together? Right? Long time. All right. Okay. Let's go to Hey Makola, you driving or you sitting still?
I'm driving.
Okay, good. All right. Can you get a scripture for me?
No comment.
All right. Give me 1 Kings 16 and 31.
First Kings 16, verse 31. And it came to pass, as if it
Wait,
had.
Slightly. Go to 29 first.
Okay.
Slightly.
1 Kings 16, verse 29. And in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. And Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 20 and 2 years.
Yep, so he reigned for 22 years. This is King Ahab, right? I believe he's of, you think he's an Ephraimite, right? Keep going.
Verse 30. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him.
So he did so much evil. He did more evil than the people before him. So he did more evil than Solomon, Saul. I mean, just pick a person. He's done more evil than them, man. All right, keep going.
Verse 31. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat.
Okay, anybody knows who Jeroboam is? Anybody know? All right. This is the Bible dictionary. Right here, that's the pictorial Bible dictionary, right? So it's gonna have a lot more in it than the one that they have, the compact one. All right, Jeroboam, right? The people are great. That's the name. That's what his name means. My kinsman is great. All right. Son of Nebat from the tribe of Ephraim, and of Zeruiah, a widow. Jeroboam founded the kingdom of Israel when the nation was split following the death of Solomon. His father was an official under Solomon and came from the village of Zeradah. As a young man, Jeroboam showed such ability that Solomon put him in charge of the fortifications and public works at Jerusalem and made him overseer of the levy of the house of Joseph. However, he used this position to stir up dissatisfaction against the government. This was not difficult to do, as the people were already filled with bitterness because of the enforced labor and burdensome taxation imposed on them by Solomon. One day, as he was walking outside Jerusalem, Jeroboam was met by the prophet Ahijah of Shiloh. Ahijah tore a new mantle into 12 pieces and gave 10 of them to Jeroboam, informing him that because of the idolatrous nature of Solomon's reign, the kingdom would be torn apart. Two of the tribes would remain with David's dynasty, while Jeroboam would become the head of the other 10. He also told him that if, as king, he walked in the fear of the Lord and kept his commandments, the kingdom would be his and of his descendants for many years. So he was told by the Most High, if he followed his commandments, a kingdom would be yours, and you would be yours for many years. You was going to have a kingdom, right? When news of this happened and reached Solomon, he tried to kill Jeroboam, but the latter escaped to Egypt, where he was kindly received by Shishak, who had succeeded the Pharaoh, whose daughter Solomon had married. As soon as Solomon died, Jeroboam returned from Egypt. When the people met at Shechem to proclaim Solomon's son, Rehoboam, king, they invited Jeroboam to come and take the lead in presenting their grievances. As spokesman of the people, he urged that their burdens would be alleviated, but the protest was contemptuously rejected. Therefore, the 10 tribes revolted from the house of David and made Jeroboam their king. Abijah's prophecy that the 10 tribes would form a separate kingdom with Jeroboam as king was fulfilled. Although Jeroboam had been divinely set apart for his task, and although he had been raised to the throne with the full approval of the people, he failed to rise to the greatness of his opportunities. The prophet had told him of the conditions of success as a ruler, but it was not long before he began to depart from the counsels of the Most High. Afraid that if his people went annually to Jerusalem to worship, it would not be long before they won back to the house of David. He decided to establish centers of worship at the two extremities of his kingdom, Dan in the north and Bethel in the south. This was at variance with the law of Moses, according to which there be only one altar of burnt offering and one place of meeting God. His disobedience became much greater when defiance of the commandment forbidding the worship of God by means of images, he set up a golden calf in each of the new sanctuaries and quoted to the people the words of Aaron. Here are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. These radical decisions brought about other necessary changes. Some legitimate priests refused. There's a lot more, but I'm just trying to brief over a little bit. They refused to serve these altars, right? So it was a fight and everything, but as I say right here, the reign of Jeroboam was a supreme political and religious calamity. The warfare between the two kingdoms inevitably brought weakness to both, leaving them open to outside attack. The introduction of the golden calves led to the violation of the religion of the Lord. In about 200 years, the moral and religious corruption of the people had gone so far that there was no more hope for them, and God brought in a heathen power to lead them in captivity. So he made Israel go into a deep captivity because there was no more hope for them. They wasn't going to come back, right? They was that far gone. So, and people think of what do people think of you serving the golden calf is now you putting the golden calf in your house and you banging your head on the ground like the Muslims do. They think of that as worshiping the golden calf. No, worshiping the golden calf is Christmas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Easter. Playing with, you got Easter, you got bunny rabbits laying eggs. When does that happen? Right? That's celebrating the 4th of July. That's serving another God. It's that simple. It's not as people try to think of worshiping as you build a whole shrine to something. It's not that. But hell, even to this day, they do that now. You see them people, I've seen people on Facebook before saying that they a witch. Right?
Right.
I remember before, people would never claim that mess. You know what I'm saying? A couple decades ago, hell no. They would never say they no damn witch. They'll even get a tattoo of the, what they call a 5-pointed star on their chest and all that. I seen all of that stuff, man. Women walk around saying that they a witch, man. So that just goes to show you how far we have been destroyed. So and here's the thing, when all of these things happened, he didn't start off with a big change. You see that? You seen what he did? He just said that he seen that he didn't want David's tribe to be ruling. This is like your Christian pastors. He's seen him losing power if they come back and follow the Most High. He felt like he was going to lose power. And David's, seed was going to reign again. He forgot the Most High said, if you follow the commandments, I'm going to make the king under you. I'm going to make your kingdom for many years. Your house is gonna be the kingdom. But he didn't follow that, man. He didn't believe the Most High. He said, if you don't believe me with the good, you gonna damn sure believe me with the evil, right? All right, I guess you can keep on reading. Where was you at?
31.
Okay, keep going.
1 Kings 16:31. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam.
So you see, like it said, he did. That was a light thing. That was an easy thing for him to do. It was light. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't hard, right? To walk in the sins of Jeroboam, right? Keep going.
The son of the Bach,
Mm-hmm.
that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Baal, king of the Zidonians. And
All right, you see the Zidonians. He took a king of the Zidonians' daughter to marry. Anybody know what nationality the Zidonians are?
Sorry. Hamites.
God.
Me.
He already said it, the Hamites. Who's that, Azar? What's going on now? Shalom on first.
Shalom, sir. Tomorrow, so.
I'm 12 about. So yeah, just people next door. That's who they is. The Ham. Right? That's who they. She was a Hamite. All right, keep going.
And went and served Baal.
Went and served Baal. Keep going.
And worshiped him.
And she worshiped Baal. So like I said, it doesn't start like people think it's just you got to just take a complete left, side turn to start serving another God. No, it's just as simple as you go in and you say happy birthday to somebody. It's that simple. Go ahead. Hey, Shalom, what's going on now? I'm Tawad. It's all right, great. But it's that simple, man. It's just a birthday card. It sounds simple, right? It sounds like, man, this can't be harmful. But guess what happens? You start doing more and more and more and more. Now you starting to test the Most High. And then as you test the Most High, then that's when he gonna put the real punishment on you. Because he know he giving you, he's gracious, right? He give you a little bit of time. He's merciful. He gonna give you, okay, we gonna see if you gonna come back. But then you go to a point, and it ain't no turning back. He just said, you know what? Put you in slavery. That's how we gonna do this. I'm gonna punish you for real. All right? Keep going.
And worship him. So Baal. Verse 32. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he built in Samaria.
So then now he put a whole damn altar about for Baal, man. Like I said, it was small things, man. He just said, you know what? I'm just gonna marry me a heathen. You know what I'm saying? And then what she started doing little things, it's like you going to go marry a Christian. This is what you can think of it as. You go marry a Christian, right? What did she start doing? She gonna still celebrate Christmas, birthdays, all these things, right? And because you love her, you're going to eventually start to, because what women want a lot of times, they try to they try to seduce you so that they can get you, the more they can get you to do, the happier that they feel. You ever notice that about women? The more they get you to do, the happier they feel. So it's like, if they can convince you to do this, like, okay, he ain't get, I need him to cut the grass. So that if she use whatever tactic she want to use, to go cut the grass, and she'll try to like, I'm trying to think of a good way. She'll try to manipulate you into doing something that she wants. I'm just using cutting the grass. It could be anything, you know what I mean? It could be, you know, she could just want something, a new bag, a new purse, or a new something like that. She will try to say to you that you're wrong for saying she don't need it. And she'll convince you in your mind that she's right and you wrong. Right?
Right.
Keep going.
Come. And verse 33, and Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him.
So now he did done even more. He done made a grove, man. So he went from doing, you know, little things, just marrying the heathen. Now he just said, you know what, the hell with all of it. Keep going.
Verse 34, and his days in Hail,
Oh, no, you can skip that. That's not what I'm going to be at. Give me 1 second. All right. Now you want to skip to chapter 18. All right.
Sorry, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
1 King 18, verse 1. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go, show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth.
He said he told Elijah to go to Ahab, right? Because you know something about to happen, right? He said he about to send rain upon the earth. You can read in the chapter 17 to see why he was about to send rain. But all right, keep going.
Verse 2. And Elijah went to show himself to Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria.
So he went into Ahab, and it was a sore famine. Samaria is like the land of the north. It's kind of like where the northern tribes lived at. That's where they lived at in Samaria. All right, keep going.
And Ahab called Abijah, which was the governor of his house.
That's Abijah, which is Obadiah, right? Obadiah.
Obadiah.
Yeah. His name is Abijah. That's his Hebrew name. Keep going.
Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly.
So he feared the Lord greatly. All right, keep going.
For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord that Obadiah took 100 prophets.
So it was a time Jezebel, she cut off the prophets. She did something to him, man. And he took 100 of them. Keep going.
And hid them by 50 in a cave.
Mm-hmm.
And fed them with bread and water.
I ain't gonna say no names, but y'all know about that bread and water, right? Certain brothers know about that. Fed them bread and water, right? It's spiritual. You get bread and water. It's just what you need to sustain. Keep going.
Ahab said unto Obadiah, Go into the land, unto all fountains of water, and unto all brooks. Peradventure.
It means maybe. You just replace that with the word maybe. Right. Okay.
Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts.
Okay. So he wanted Obadiah to go into the land, and he was trying to find grass because it was a famine. So he's trying to find grass so he can keep the horses and mules alive. Keep going.
Verse 6. So they divided the land between them to pass throughout it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself.
Okay. Trying to skip ahead a little bit. Okay. So then now they wanted to, Elijah had to go into Ahab, right? So this is where we go into that. Go to 17.
Verse 17?
Mm-hmm.
Come. Verse 17, and it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubled Israel?
So now he's saying he the one that troubled Israel. Because just like at any time, there's always going to be prophets, there's going to be the majority of Israel that's not following the Most High, right? But there's going to be the prophets that, serve the Most High. Keep going.
Verse 18, and he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord. And thou hast followed Baal.
So he said, no, I ain't doing trouble in Israel. That's you and your family, your house is the one that's troubling Israel by making them come after these false gods, right? Keep going.
Verse 19, Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel upon Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table.
So maybe he made the groves, right? And he had all of the prophets there. He wanted all Abraham's. It was about 1,000. He wanted all of them there. We about to go to work, right? This is them. This is the whole. You got to put a picture. This is everybody coming like the Kentucky 8. A very few men coming up against a whole mob, right? But you know what? If we got to go against a whole mob, we just got to do what we got to do. Ain't no cowards in here, right? All right, keep going.
Verse 20. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, gathered the prophets together upon Mount Carmel.
Okay. So he went and he gathered all the prophets together because he got a school. This is a school that he got. So he's bringing everybody in, all of the prophets of Israel, right? Keep on.
And Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long have you between two options? Between two opinions?
So he says it's two opinions. How long have you been going back and forth between these two opinions? Keep going.
If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
So he said, okay, how long y'all been between these two opinions, right? So he said, okay, if Baal be God, we gonna follow. We gonna solve this. That's the one thing that was so heavy about what Captain Zaryak was saying when he's going out with debates. What he's doing is he's showing the fallacy of all of these different religions. He's showing the fallacy of them. So that one thing he said that was so powerful, so heavy, man. He said that we need to start doing debates and lectures so we can start eliminating all of these different religions, all these false gods. We need to start eliminating them. And then we find one that's perfect, and that's the one we deal under. Right? All right, keep going.
Then said Elijah unto the people, even I only, remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophet are 450 men.
So he said, I'm here alone. I'm here by myself now. Right? He said right now, I'm by myself. But Baal's prophets are 450 men. Keep going.
Verse 23. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under.
Okay, so he said get 2 bullocks, You get to pick which one you want, right? You lay it on wood. You cut into pieces, so it could be, cooked up to eat. Lay it on wood, put no fire under it. Just leave it there. Keep going.
And I will dress the other bull up and lay it on wood and put no fire under.
So you go dress the other bullock. Dressing is when you prepare to be eaten. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut you got to take the organs out of it, let the blood drain out. There's certain things you got to do to an animal before they're ready for consumption. Okay? Keep going.
Verse 24, and call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, and the God that answered by fire, let him be God. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken.
So basically, he said, okay, whoever is the real God, he gonna come, he gonna speak it with flames, with fire. And he's saying, okay, whoever this is, basically, he gave like a wager. Whoever wins this wager, that's the God that we're going to serve. All right? Keep going.
Verse 26. And he took the bullock, which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made.
So now they trying to get Baal, saying, Baal, please do something, Baal. Do something. And nothing. They ain't hear no words. Baal, he ain't hearing you. This you said, you beg your Santa Claus to give you presents. Right? When you was a kid, you doing the same thing here. This Baal. Keep going.
Verse 27, and it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God, either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth, and must be awakened.
So now he mocking them. He talking junk. He talking crap to him. He said, for he is yell louder. He a God. Yell louder. He might be talking to somebody else. He might be talking, or he might be looking for. So he might be looking for you. Or he in a journey. He gone somewhere chilling. He went off to somewhere. We went to Antarctica. He going out. He on vacation. Maybe he sleep. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta wake him up. So he talking junk to him. Keep going.
And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them.
Y'all get that? Anybody can explain. Can anybody explain this to me right here? Explain this verse to me. I want to see if y'all pay attention. Make sure I ain't fell asleep.
It's like kind of like the customers, the heathens, they do the cutting of them flesh.
Them Africans, right?
Come.
Remember, this is the following Baal. This is the Zidonians was doing. They cutting themselves after Baal. They cutting themselves. If you look up lancet, it's like a surgical tool used to cut. It's like a scalpel. So they using scalpels to cut themselves, man. To cut their flesh. They wanted the blood gushing out. Keep going.
And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied unto the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice nor any answer, nor any that regarded.
So now it came late. Midday was past. Now it's evenings, the nighttime about to come. Ain't nobody, they bleeding to death. They sitting there just bleeding, right? And nothing happened. Nobody said nothing. Keep going.
Verse 30. And Elijah said unto all the people, come near unto me. And all the people came near to him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down.
Because remember, he destroyed the altar. This was Ahab. He destroyed the altar. Right? So he had to build it back up. So he's had all Israel come here. Watch this. Keep going.
Verse 31. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name.
So he's saying, you no longer going to be Baal. You're going to be Israel. He got the 12 stones out. This is you, Israel. Keep going.
Verse 32. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed.
So now he had made an altar and he put a little, trench in there so you could put seeds in there. Keep going.
And he put the wood in order and cut the bullock in pieces and laid him on the wood and said, fill 4 barrels with water and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood.
So now he's saying, get 4 barrels. He put it on, he made the wood ready so it could hold the bullock, right? Get the fire ready with the firewood ready. But he said, you know what? Pour some water. Get 4 barrels of water. So I'm not kindling a fire somewhere, right? Because he's going to make this blatantly obvious that there's only one God. Keep going.
Verse 33. And he put the wood in order and cut the bullock in pieces and laid him on the wood and said, fill 4 barrels with water and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood.
So then he put it on the wood, on the sacrifice. Keep going.
Verse 34. And he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. And he said, do it a third time. And they did it a third time.
They did it 3 times. They poured 4 barrels, was it 3 or 4 barrels of water on her 3 or 4 times. Man, 3 times they did this, man. So it's just full of water. No way it should be in the light. Keep going.
Verse 35. And the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water.
So when that happened, all the water fell down, and it fell into the trenches, because the trenches was all about it, right? It was all circled around the altar he had. Keep going.
And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known that this day that thou art God of Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word.
See, the Most High told him to do this, right? And he said, let it be known, I'm your servant. This, so you can tell this is black people right here. Right? Let it be known. Who say that, man? Who say let it be known? You ever heard a devil say let it be known?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. This is all book, man. This is all book. We talk the same way now. Right? Alright. Keep going.
Verse 37, hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned their heart back again.
So he said, he's begging the Most High, hear me, so that you can turn these people's hearts back to you again. Keep going.
Verse 38, then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust and licked up the water that was in the trench.
So it removed all the water that was around. It just drank the water. The fire is that great, right, that it got rid of all of the water. Keep going.
And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Lord, he is the God. The Lord, he is the God.
So now when they saw it, they said, Most High, this the real God. It ain't this other God, Baal. Nothing happened. He must still be asleep, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Egypt. This is Egyptology in a nutshell. They serving the dead. This is a dead man. Anybody know who Baal was in real life? Anybody know? Go ahead.
Baal was a legendary farmer and skilled in agricultural arts.
Yep. God, that's correct. He was a legendary farmer. So now he became a god because he knew how to, make green beans. He knew how to grow green beans, man. Now he's a god. So that just show you that the gods of the heathen is vain, man. There's nothing. All right. Keep reading for me.
Verse 40, and Elijah said unto him, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon and slew them there.
He killed them, man. He didn't let none of them go, man. You been lying, man. You know what it's gonna happen to, man? It's gonna happen to them damn pastors that we got, man. The Most High, I can almost guarantee you. I mean, we don't know what the Most High gonna tell us, but I bet you he gonna have the brothers of the school go and get rid of them damn preachers, man. Cause they deceive Israel, man. They make Israel serve false gods because of money. Money, that is it, because of money. You heard about Jeroboam. They said his whole his reign, his rule was all political. It wasn't about serving the Most High, it was political. Politics. Right? Well, politics is really just gaining power. Right? That's what politics is. That's what's really like. In a nutshell, that's what politics is. All right, keep going.
Verse 41, and Elijah said unto Ahab, get thee up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain.
So he just said, now it's a rain coming. So eat and drink. What verse you at?
Verse 41.
Okay. Keep going.
42, so Ahab went up to eat and to drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees.
So when Ahab saw this, right, he went up to eat and drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth. He put his face in between his knees, man. You know what that is? Anybody put your face between your knees? What's that?
So bow down.
Close. All right, he said that he had went to put his head between his knees. What does that mean?
So you asking what is that, sir?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Is that meaning shame? Like put a head in his book?
It's shame, yeah, but what is he doing? He put him, I'll give it to you. He's in the fetal position. So now because things not going his way, now he had turned into a bitch, Salakia. That's what he done turned into. He just see, because he's not mad because of Baal. He's not mad about that. He's not sad about that. You know what he's sad about? You know why he's sad? Please tell me why he's sad right now. Please tell me why he's sad.
So the judgment about to come down on him.
No.
Okay.
That's not why he's sad. Anybody know?
question.
All right. Why did he put his face between his knees? Ahab.
Salaki, sir, was he embarrassed?
He was embarrassed, but I'm gonna tell you, because this the same spirit of he's because he now has to go face his woman. That's why he was down. He had to go face his woman now. Y'all get that? Not because those prophets died or the Baal. Now he had to go tell his wife that her religion, the people that her pastor is dead. All right, keep going.
And said to his servant, go up now, look towards the sea. And he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And he said, go again 7 times.
All right, now go to verse 19.
Chapter.
Yeah, read the first one.
1 Kings chapter 19, verse 1. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword.
So now Ahab, he had to go tell his wife all of this that happened, right? That all of those prophets got slain. Keep going.
Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time.
Okay. All right. So Jezebel, she sent the messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. If I don't make, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them tomorrow by this time. So he said, So he said, let the guys, so he knew that his life was going to die. He said, let this happen to me if you know the same thing if tomorrow about this time. So he said, this is the real God, do this to me, right? So this is what I believe, I have to check and get clarification, but I'm pretty sure Jezebel was saying, if this is what's going to happen, let it do it to her. Let it be killed, right? Keep going.
Verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life.
Okay.
And came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there.
So he left his servant there, and he went to Beersheba. Keep going.
Verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. So
this is Elijah. He you know what I'm saying, he getting depressed. So he depressed about this whole thing. What's she saying that she wanted the guys to do to him, right? To kill him. So now he's looking, sad about it. He's feeling sad about it, right? So he don't, you know what I'm saying? So because he's not wanting to die. If you know anything about Elijah, when it comes to being a prophet, you don't be a prophet because you necessarily want to be a prophet. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's forced upon you to be a prophet.
Right.
So the Most High calls his prophets. And then you have to be a prophet. If you don't be a prophet, you're not going to succeed in what you're trying to do. Just like the general say all the time, all of y'all was trying to be rappers, you ain't going to be a rapper. Because you meant to be a prophet of God. So he not going to get what he wants to get. remember Elijah. He was the one that the Most High took his wife because he put his wife before serving the Most High. But he said he wanted Elijah to be a prophet. Keep going.
Verse 5. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, Arise and eat.
So he laying here by a juniper tree, and the angel touched him saying, Get up, eat something. Because he just not want to eat nothing. Keep going.
Verse 6. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head.
So it was cake, bacon, and so cake is like, it don't mean like a birthday cake. It just means like a piece of bread, right? And he had cruse of water. It was like a device to hose water on his head. All right, keep going.
And he did eat and drink and laid him down again.
Come. All right, read it again, Salakia.
Verse 6. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head, and he did eat and drink and laid him down again.
So he ate and drank and laid back down. Keep going.
Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time and touched him and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee.
So now he said, Get up, eat, touched him again, woke him up, said, Eat again, because the journey it's a great journey, so you need to have some nourishment. Right? Keep going.
And he arose and did eat and drink and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights until Horeb, the mount of God.
So that nourished him for 40 days and 40 nights, which of course, don't mean he didn't eat anything, but he didn't need much after. He just drank what he needed to drink and just eat a little bit, right? Keep going.
Verse 9, and he came thither unto a cave and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, Why doest thou here, Elijah?
So he said, What you doing in this cave? Right? Keep going.
Verse 10, and he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slayed thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
All right. So you see, he's jealous because, now he's upset because now they don't want to, they have forsaken the covenant, thrown it down, and now they want to come take his life. He's scared because they're trying to kill him now. Keep going.
Verse 11, he said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake.
Drop down to 13 slide.
Verse 13.
So all these things happened, like earthquake and wind. The Most High wasn't in it. But then after the fire, he heard a still small, he heard a small voice. Keep going.
Verse 13. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, then he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, Why doest thou here, Elijah?
So now you see again, he's in that cave, man. He said, What you doing here? Right? What you doing in this cave? Right? All right. So then he said the same thing. They coming to take his life away, right? Go to 15.
Verse 15, and the Lord said to him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria.
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 Keep going.
Verse 16, and Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel, and Elijah, the son of Shaphat. Elisha, the son of Shaphat, of Mohala, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room.
So now he wants him to anoint Jehu into that, right? Into being the king over Israel. And he wanted Elisha to be the prophet, right? Because like if you gotta know about how all the prophets work. It was always when you had a king, you always had a prophet. Like during Saul's time, it was Samuel. David's time, I think his name was Nathan or Nishan. It was one of those two. That was the prophet. Now Elijah was the prophet for the king Ahab, right? And now Elisha is going to be the prophet now. Like he's the one that's running the school, as you can say, the school. So now he's going to be the prophet at this time over Jehu, right? All right. All right. Go to the next verse.
Verse 17, and it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay.
So the people that don't get killed by Hazael, Jehu gonna kill. Whoever Jehu doesn't get, now Elisha's gonna get him, right? Keep going.
Verse 18, yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal.
Now that he said he got 7,000 men that are left that have not bowed their heads or not bowed unto Baal, man. This is synonymous with the I.S.U.P.K, man. We have not bowed our heads to Baal, right? You got to refuse that. I know when the Christmas is coming, your family getting together, you might have a yearning to be with your family, but the hell with that, man.
Right.
The hell with that. Do not go, because now you gonna be, because like I said, it's that simple to start sinning, to start serving another God. It's that simple. It's not making an altar in your house. Like I said earlier, it's not making an altar. It's simply giving a birthday card, giving a Christmas card. That's serving another God. It's that simple. And then before you know it, you're gonna be giving your life, giving your brothers Israel to another God. So like I said, the conference call is on here right here. It's on the iPad. So it's clapped up there.
Excellent job with brothers bringing out. What the brothers bringing out is extremely heavy. You understand? When you read this story about Jezebel and King Ahab, this is very perfect for what's going on right now with this whole Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith thing. You understand? In the crisis kingdom and in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yahanna, it is illegal to be a man like Will Smith or a woman like Jada Pinkett Smith. You understand? Like what the brother's bringing out, what he was just saying was so important, because that spirit of, and it's carnally, it's in a lot of brothers, it's in most men, you know what I'm saying, coming out of this captivity, coming through Christianity, heavy Christianity is really where it really comes from. And being under this oppressor who puts a woman on high and brings a black man very low. You understand? When you start to When you come into the truth and you start to fight all the demons from your family, fight all the false religions and everything like that, you may start to feel a certain way. You may start to get weak around Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day. And why is that? Because of the pressure of your woman, the pressure of your wife. And what the brother was bringing out is extremely important, because you absolutely go into worshiping other gods when you give a birthday card or a Christmas card or Valentine's Day gifts and presents, things like that. But what you really have to understand is, who are you making your God? You understand? Who are you making your God, Yahweh?
Your woman.
You're making your woman your God. You understand? You're making your woman your God, and it goes into, the so-called Virgin Mary. It goes into all these things that the Christian church pushes. You understand? And you have to fight that carnal lust in you to want to serve your woman, because it's in you. It comes from, all the way back from Adam. To want to serve your woman, to listen to your woman, and you have to take on the burden of ruling over your family. And in this society, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why in the Israelite school of UPK, under Commander Yahanna, you get taught to lead your family. You get taught how to rule over a woman in righteousness. You understand? And you must do it. You must do it, because if you don't do it, you destroy that woman, you destroy the children. If you let her lead that house, your house is going to fall. You understand? And you have to go against your oppressor, who when they say things like happy wife, happy life. Now you got to go against that, because that's pushed 24/7 in this society. You understand? And according to the Bible, it's completely opposite. You know what I'm saying? A man has to stand on these laws, statutes, and commandments and lead his family. Give me Genesis 3, verse 16.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to all these discussion panels, when you go to the, the podcast and all these things, they're having all these marital, advice and relationship advice, but nobody's going into these scriptures. Nobody's saying what the Most High wants done. You know what I'm saying? We could go all into the colleges and what psychologists say and compromise and what a marriage is, but ultimately you got to go back into these scriptures. And that's why so many families are destroyed in the black community, because we are going 100% against what the Most High wants. You understand? Give me Genesis 3:16 when you got it.
Come, sir. The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. Go ahead.
And thy conception.
In thy conception. Read on.
Come. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
In sorrow you're going to bring forth children. When you see a woman going through all the pains, and it's a heavy thing. When you see a woman going through all the pains of childbearing and being pregnant, and the headaches and the morning sickness, you understand, and gaining weight and all these things, and the water retention and everything that could be going on, high blood pressure, all the things that could happen when you're carrying a child all the way up until you give birth, that's coming from the Most High. They say, like, when a woman gives birth, you understand, it's like the closest she gets to death. You understand? And that's coming from the Most High. Go ahead.
So like, sir, when they say that sorrow, could that also be as like, what's that? You know how like when women, they get pregnant, they have like, they go through like a depression and that, and when they had a baby too?
Okay, the postpartum depression, that's... Okay. Okay, that part is more like, she shall be saved in childbearing, because that could happen. And she has to fight through that. She has to fight through, if she gets the postpartum depression and a demon, Satan coming to her saying to neglect this child, be evil to this child. You know what I'm saying? Even maybe hurt this child. Some women will do that. Some women will snap, and a lot of Edomite women will drown that baby in a tub. You know what I'm saying? To do something wicked as hell. You've seen it all the time. Sisters with, schizophrenia and all types of things going on that she needs medication for. You know what I'm saying? And the Israelite school of UPK for. Without it, you know what I'm saying, she does something very harmful to the child. But that's why it says the woman shall be, we'll get it later, the woman shall be saved in childbearing because of because of how difficult it is, to have that child. But the sorrow is talking about, it could be your emotional, the emotional thing that's going on. She could be sad, she could be depressed, but the pain, the cramps, the contractions, Like that is what the Most High is doing because of her disobedience to the Most High and her husband. You understand? That sorrow was talking about the pain she is in having children. And it didn't have to be so. It's like, I think brothers is trying to call in. You may have to check the phone because I'm not sure if this is still online. Can y'all hear me?
No, that was a call coming in from my phone because I'm on the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It ain't going there.
I know, so I think I got another call.
Yeah, that was me getting the call on my personal line. And it shows that when you're on Wi-Fi on there.
So I know, so. So you can start from the top, go up the
Come. The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
In sorrow, the woman's going to bring forth children. All the pain, all the epidural she has to go to. If a sister can do it, a sister should not get the epidural if she can manage it. You know what I'm saying? But if the pain is too much, then she may have to get an epidural and all the pain medication. But a lot of sisters like to see if they can go through it naturally, and that is coming from the Most High. That pain for disobeying your husband, and it's always a reminder to the woman. A lot of things in the scriptures regarding the woman is always a reminder for a woman to be humble and to obey her husband. You understand? Read on.
Come. And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And what?
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
What does it mean when it says thy desire shall be to thy husband? Anyone online? Thy desire shall be to thy husband. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
Go. Who's this?
Yes, sir. Shalom, sir. Cesar, officer. If I may, that's the woman's desire. It serves a man because a man is her head. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Okay, give me a little more. Like you can. Her desire, but what is her desire? Give me a little more.
Like it, sir.
Go ahead.
It's the saying like her desire. It's the saying like that. It's something she's like it, sir.
Yeah, she should want to. She should want to. That's give me a little more. She may not want to, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she should. Yeah, well, you get your hand up?
Come. Is that like saying that her desire should be what her husband desires?
Exactly. Her desire should be what her husband desires. Like in this wicked society, it's the opposite. It's the man's desire is to the woman. You know what I'm saying? He does whatever makes her happy. Whatever she likes, that's what he gets along with. Whatever she wants to do, that's what he does. Whatever his desires to her, when the scripture says the woman's desire shall be to her husband, meaning she has to get with his program. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean she can't have her own thing she likes to do? No, that's not saying that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of times you see a sister that hasn't been with a bunch of men, like a virgin, she'll naturally, when she lays down with that one man, she'll naturally become like that brother. Start to like the same music. Start to like the same food. She'll start to talk like the brother in a feminine way, though. You know what I'm saying? Start to just vibe with that brother. And that's the problem, is that natural thing that happens if she sleeps with 5, 10, 15 brothers. You know what I mean? She has so many different personalities going on by the time you get her. You know what I'm saying? You fighting a bunch of demons. You find a bunch of different personalities in this same woman. A lot of times you see a sister who now talks masculine, now talks like a man. You know what I'm saying? Now, you carries herself like a man because she done had so many different men. She can't trust you because of the previous man. She's like, hold the point 1 second. She can't trust you because of her previous man. She won't let you form a bond with her, her children because of, one of her exes was a weirdo, of course. You know what I'm saying? Some child molester and all these things. She doesn't like to cook anymore because, Fred said she couldn't cook a lick. You know what I'm saying? So now she has all this animosity built up. Her spirit's totally jammed up. And by the time you get her, like I said, you're not even really dealing with this sister. You got to fight through all the demons, all the different wicked spirit she has going through her. So I could go ahead, online.
If I may.
Go ahead.
I'll see how you're not checking in all the one. What you just said is so heavy, and if sisters in the world will understand, you know what I'm saying, when you put your body on the line like that, and you going from man to man to man, you know what I'm saying, trying to, compete with a man, with being with sexual partners, you put yourself in a bind. You put yourself in a place where nobody gonna want to deal with you. Not for the simple fact that you got all these bodies on you, but because, like you said, Otto, you got so many different personalities. You know what I'm saying? That nobody knows what they're gonna get after, when they talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. You're absolutely right, brother. That's why it's so important when a sister's coming into the truth, she becomes a new woman, a virgin. She's known no man when you come into the truth to be born again. But if you a sister that is refusing to come into the truth, refusing to change, then it's going to be very hard for you to form a bond with a man, because no real man that you need to be wants to put up with that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Okay. And he shall rule over thee.
And he shall what?
Rule over thee.
And he shall rule over thee. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a brother has to do. And that's what a brother has to do, and that's a fight as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers like to serve their woman. They believe they should serve their woman, like Will Smith. They should hear her out and all her nonsense and let her do what she wants, let her be free, you understand? Because that's what society pushes. Like the journalist was bringing out, a lot of brothers see their woman and go back to their childhood and their mother. You know what I'm saying? They see a woman like she's his mother. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be your woman's man. You can't be your woman's, buddy. It's cool to talk. It's cool to have a good time and hear her out and laugh and have conversations and maybe even joke around a little bit. But it comes to a point where you have to lead that woman. You got to lead that woman and lead her in righteousness through the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of brothers, man, they gotta fight that lust to want to be up under their woman. You know what I'm saying? You have to rule over your woman. And ruling over your woman does not mean be evil to her or being wicked to her, but it means to guide her and direct her, correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Hey, flag, sir.
Go ahead, get down now. Y'all watch this with the no slow one. Yeah, damn right. Yeah, a lot of brothers make their mother a god or a woman a god in general. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's no excuse. You shouldn't see your woman like your mother, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunately coming out of this society in this oppression without having fathers in the house, without, we don't go through the correct going into adulthood, going into manhood. Because a lot of times the brother is with a single mother and just lives his life like that and grows up like that and sees his mother like his woman. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole distorted thing. It's totally against the scriptures when a man has to eventually grow into adulthood and be the Lord over his mother and his woman. You get what I'm saying? Like there's a point even in there's a point where you come out of your childhood and you're of course you're your mother's son, but you still have to be the Lord over her, the authority over her if she doesn't have a husband. Preferably she has a husband who's your father, and that's your father's woman. You get what I'm saying? And you leave the house and get with a woman, and that's your woman, and you become the Lord over her. But through Christianity and oppression in America, we don't go through those basic steps into adulthood, into manhood. You understand? No sweat out. We get 1 Corinthians 11 verse 7. This is directly out of the Bible, the way the Most High wants relationships or marriages, according to the scriptures, he wants it, conducted. There's a certain way, and if you go against it, you know what I'm saying, then you bound to fall. It's bound to, but Satan can get in and destroy it. You understand? You have to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments according to the Bible. Marriage is according to the Bible. A man is to rule over the family.
Right.
You understand? When you got it, you can go ahead and read.
Come. The book of Corinthians, First Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head.
All right, so a man does not cover his head. You know what I'm saying? Like when you teach in class, when we prophesying or going to camp, you always see our heads are uncovered. The top of our heads and our headpieces is uncovered. Read on.
Come. For as much as he is the image and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man.
The woman is the glory of the man. Go ahead.
Come. For the man is not of the woman.
For the man is not of the woman. Read on.
Okay. Come. But the woman of the man.
But the woman of the man. You know what I'm saying? Like according to the scriptures, a man is not supposed to serve his woman. You know what I'm saying? A woman was created for the man, that man for the woman. We'll get that as well. Read on. Is there more on that?
Come. Verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman created for the man.
You understand? Now, contrary to common belief, a man is not to serve a woman. You get what I'm saying? You go on the whatever talk shows you're listening to, whatever podcast you're listening to, it's always about a so-called high-value man and what a man's supposed to provide to a woman and what a man can give to a woman. You know what I'm saying? But the conversation never is what the woman is supposed to be given to a man. You know what I'm saying? Like the woman naturally, through God, was created for the man as a helpmate. You know what I'm saying? But we are going totally against the scriptures, or totally against God, and that's why you have situations like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Okay, verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels.
Drop that. Give me 1 Timothy 2, verse 11. Any questions on line 2, you can just go ahead and say Salakia and get down with your question. And this specifically, man, brothers in the school, like when you look at that Will Smith and that Chris Rock thing, that thing is so evil, it's so wicked, because you're letting an evil, wicked woman get in between two brothers. And you'll see so many street beefs, so many, falls of great men has been because of so-called great men, because of women. Letting women get in between brotherhood is totally unacceptable in the Israelite school of U.P.K. Serving your woman is unacceptable, and you have to nip it in the bud. That's why I'm bringing out that the man has to rule over the woman. That way, you don't run the risk of letting a woman break up, your brotherhood and make you feel a way about your brother. Because at the end of the day, that's what the law hangs on, those two things. Love thy brother as thyself. You know what I'm saying? You have to rule over a woman and keep a woman in check. That way she cannot break up your brotherhood. Go ahead.
Okay. The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Let the woman learn in silence. Another scripture telling a woman she's supposed to learn in silence. She's not supposed to be on a pulpit, telling men what to do and what not to do. She shouldn't be at a red round table, talking evil about her husband and evil about other men and talking about that's totally wicked. The woman should be learning in silence. Like Jada Pinkett Smith should be sitting in class learning how to be a woman. She should be learning how to be meek and, kind and, support her husband, rather than sitting at a round table with other women talking about how bad he is in bed or what he wasn't providing and how she had to go to another man to get certain things and really go to another child to get certain things, and people watch and sit around the TV and watch it like it's normal, like it's all good, when it's wicked. You understand?
Go good.
Read on.
Go good. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
I what?
I suffer not a woman to teach.
The Lord said, I suffer not a woman to teach. A woman's not supposed to teach because what is she going to teach? She's going to be sitting around the round table talking about some silly nonsense. You understand? Talking about how Will Smith can't perform in bed, how, whatever it is. Whatever some balldagger, so-called woman pastor is teaching her congregation, they're only going to teach that a woman should rule over a man. You understand? Read on.
Go. Nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Right? She's not supposed to usurp authority over men. And so many men are so beaten down and broken down in the Christian church and in their Christian households, and they're just these quiet, humble, little mice that would never dare to speak against the oppression of the oppression of black people in America through the oppressor, the Edomites, or talk against the evil of so-called black women in America. You understand? But the Israelite school, UPK, you understand? You have to talk about it. You got to bring it out. You understand? Like you're not taught in here to be quiet about real issues. You understand?
Okay.
And that's what a lot of brothers suffer from, being up under their woman, being up under their grandmother, being in that church. You understand? It just breeds weak men. It breeds men like Will Smith. Like Will Smith would never stand up to his woman or stand up to a real threat. But in front of everybody at the Oscars, he'll go to Chris Rock and slap him across the face for making a joke. And really wasn't going to do anything until he seen the look on his wife's face. You know what I'm saying? He really wasn't going to do anything until he seen the look on his face. And that's what's so important. Like he was just bringing out about King Ahab and Jezebel. Like that's like directly the spirit. When you said he had his the brother was in the fetal position, because he knew, man, that was Will Smith. That was Will Smith in the fetal position when he looked to his side and seen his woman glaring at him, staring at him like you better do something. Not even that you better do something, but like how dare you think that's funny? Like how dare then so he got up and assaulted a brother, man. And that's so in the spirit of what you was talking about with King Ahab and Jezebel. And we all know, or you don't know, you know what I'm saying, what happens to Jezebel at the end of that story. You understand? Like the Most High is no joke. Go ahead, huh?
It's like if I could, it's like she looked at him like a man would look at his child. A father would look at his child when he wanted his child to sit down. And he don't have to say this. All you got to do is just look, and the child automatically know what to do. Like it, sir.
Yeah, right. That's exactly how she looked at him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all seen that picture too. I think the journal was breaking down the radio, shows a picture of them two sitting down, and she all open, legs wide open, sitting down like a man, and he next to us with his legs crossed. Now, I don't know if they took that picture being funny or what they thought being funny, but the spirit behind it is exactly what that relationship is. Like, she took on the spirit of being the man with her legs wide open, and then he gonna cross his legs over like a woman. That's how a woman sits. And then she's sitting like how a man sits. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got a pair of, stones between her legs. You know what I'm saying? She got like she has a full-on rod between her legs. And Will Smith tucked his rod in his behind. Salakia.
Oh God, like you said, if I could, and so if you bring that part out, I seen that I had, in light of this, I had watched a interview. He is a new episode, it's a new series called Bel Air, right? It's based, it's like a 21st century version of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, right?
Right.
So basically, I was watching an interview with the dude that's playing Will Smith in the show. And the one thing he said that was heavy was he had to pretend to be something he was not. Because he is not, like he looked, when he was on Fresh Prince, it made it seem like he's this dude that gets a lot of women, that does all of that. But in actuality, he's very self-conscious of himself. And he probably hates himself. He wasn't the guy that was in there. I know people personally from Philly that said he was actually quiet and almost nerdy, and he just painted all day.
Talking about who? Will Smith?
Will Smith, He had to play a role that was not him, but that's what made him everybody think of him as being like a what they
Right.
call an alpha male or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
They think he Mike Lowry.
Come,
He-
yeah,
he-
come,
he-
come.
Yeah, he's really a dweeb. I got you.
Come,
No
come.
sweat. You know what I mean? And he showed it. He showed it at the Oscars, man. That was sick, man. And that's so, like, that spirit. And any brother that thought Will Smith was right, like, that spirit has to die in Israel. Like, your woman can be wrong, and you can't be afraid to tell her she's wrong. And you can't always want to jump to the defense of a woman anytime she opens her mouth. Like, women do lie. Women do exaggerate. Women do, get into things. They go out on the streets and they argue with men they don't know, and they start fights, and they call you up. And what do? Like a good old mama's boy, you run up there and you could get put to death. That's what brothers really need to understand. You cannot walk up to a grown man and slap him in the face.
Right.
You could get put to death and or have to do something to where you have to spend the rest of your life in prison. And what is the woman doing? Nothing. Sitting around, and she'll be dealing with another cat in about 90 days. She's going to forget about you. She's not going to come visit you. She's not going to send your kids up there. She will be having sex with your friends. You know what I'm saying? And you sitting in prison because you didn't want to even see what happened. You go to the scene of, whatever she said was going on. Don't ask no questions, do nothing, and commit a crime that can cost you your life. You understand? I think there was a while back, I don't know if y'all saw it on Facebook, I think it was in Houston. I think it was in Texas, where a brother, like a sister, got into some type of scuffle, got into some type of argument with some cats at a house. And her brother or family member came, and without any questions, went to the house. The brother opened up the door, and he killed the brother right in the doorstep. He shot him a few times. No questions asked. That brother will spend the rest of his life in prison. You know what I'm saying? And that happens so much in the black community by just always jumping to the defense of a woman who does not deserve to be defended. Now, make no mistake about it, the sisters in the Israelite school of UPK, we will defend them with our lives and happily sit in prison for the rest of our lives to defend our sisters who are righteous, who are not getting high, who are not sleeping with men that are not their husband, who are not walking outside like a whore, who are not, arguing with men at the street corner, not pulling up at other sisters' house trying to fight them over a man.
Right.
Like, you can't, as a woman, you cannot, if you want to be defended, you cannot be like that. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be a whore and be defended. And even brothers saying, or people saying, Will Smith was defending his wife, nothing was happening to Jada Pinkett Smith that needed defense. Like, understand this too as a brother. Because someone is saying something to you or saying something to your wife, does not give you the right to physically assault them. You understand? Like, you fighting for your honor, you can say something back, but you cannot, like he should have said, if he wanted to do anything, right? If Will Smith wanted to do anything that night, he could have said, keep my wife's name out your mouth from the jump. If he wanted to do anything, right? It still was a joke. I wouldn't suggest doing that. But to get up and to physically assault a brother is totally out of line. You know what I'm saying? That does not work outside the Oscars, I guess. That does not work. It's like, go ahead online.
Kind of concept of water, real heavy points out of water, if I may. You know what I mean? She and his wife, she didn't even console him or talk to him, or she gave him no support. He had Tyler Perry, was homosexual, and Denzel Washington, Denzel go up to console her brother and give him some words of wisdom, and she was like sitting like 2 or 3 seats away from him. There was another woman sitting next to him. You know what I mean? So it's you get no love at all, sir. It's like,
Damn right. Of course he didn't. And that's the same spirit. Like, now, if he would have got locked up, she wouldn't have supported him there either. You get what I'm saying? And like, you so ready to assault a brother. Like, this woman, you have to look, this woman has already had sex with other men. Like, it's over with. It's done. She's experienced other men on your watch. There is no defending her. You get what I'm saying? Like the Most High, literally, in Christ's kingdom, that woman gets put to death. Now, there's nothing to defend. Like, it's spiritual, Because can't nobody go out and harm a woman now because she cheated on you or whored on you, what we call it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing to her physically, but spiritually she's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ain't nothing to defend after that. She's supposed to be put in the ground. You know what I'm saying? Because that is that wicked. It's that evil. It's like, is there more on that?
Saying, verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve.
Right. Adam got the truth first, then Eve. Eve was supposed to be under subjection to her husband. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real. Like, look, the man and the woman could have been so-called equal to the man. But because she disobeyed the Most High had to set down a law to say, okay, well now the man will rule over the woman. And that's where it is now, because the woman brought sin into the earth. You understand? Read on.
Okay. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Right. Adam was not deceived. He was obeying the Most High. The woman was deceived. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Right, but like I said earlier, she'll be saved in childbearing. But to go back up a little bit, you understand where Adam messed up at was following after his woman. And that's what every man has to fight. You have to fight your carnal self that makes you want to follow after your woman. Letting your woman speak for you. Letting your woman rule over you. And you have to be very conscious of it and very cautious. There's a difference between your woman, holding down the household, paying bills, bringing, increase to the home, holding down the finances as far as giving you the money and all that, or paying bills. But you have to watch that, because you can't allow her to think now she runs the household because she's paying the bills and doing these things. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you have to make sure you're not living like a child in that house. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, a woman can pay bills, and she should. She should, decorate the house, whatever. Whatever you allow your woman to do, as far as taking care of the home, you have to make sure you are the authority over that situation. You can't allow her to use it as a trap to control you, to keep you quiet in the house, to pacify you like a baby. I remember Jerry Muhammad saying, even them video games, the PlayStations, all the things, you got to be careful. You have to determine, is your woman giving you a gift, or is your mommy buying you a present? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you got to watch that. You know what I'm saying? It's very natural to fall into if you're not careful through Christianity, through coming out of the world. And this is for brothers specifically that's coming out of the world, that's going to have to fight the urge to be up under their woman because of not having resources, like not having a place to stay, not having a job, not having these things makes you live very, obedient and in subjection under a woman, and it will destroy you. Like, you have to be ready to lose it all when you're coming into this truth, and you can't let, you understand, a woman control you through finances in a nice, comfortable home, in a car. Those things are nice, but if you're losing your masculinity, which is the most important thing on the earth, more important than anything, it's something you should have to die for if it comes down to it. You understand? If it's coming to that, then you got to shake it. You got to leave it all. Like the scripture says, better to live at the corner of a rooftop than to live with a brawling woman, or to live with a dragon, paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's better to live on the streets. But if you come into the Israelite school of UPK, with the brothers, understand, we are about brotherhood. You don't have to be on the street, and you don't have to live up under a woman or a mother. If you're a young brother, you don't have to live up under your mom and her loud mouth or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You serve the Most High, come up in this school, come up in the truth, you understand, and experience this brotherhood. All right? Okay. Give me Micah 7 verse 5.
So
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and that's when when you come into the school, that's when you really find out how to rule your household, to rule over a woman. You may have an idea in the world, but as you come in, you start to see the scriptures, and what the Most High require of a man, like it's a law on it. So like that process is only brothers in the truth in the schools really know how to properly, rule over their household, the women and the children. It's like everybody else is getting, they just getting oppressed by their children and women.
Damn right, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, to come into the school, you learn how to serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You learn to serve the Most High, you'll learn to run that house. Without, you don't need a bunch of money to rule over a woman, to rule over a house. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead, read when you got it.
Okay. The book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide.
Read on.
Come. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
Keep the doors of thy mouth. Like, read again. That part.
Come. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
Someone break that down. Keep the doors of thy mouth closed to the woman in your bosom. Go ahead, y'all.
Come. Don't tell her all the things that's going on in your head. Don't tell her everything, all the problems you having. Don't tell her, like, don't go around expressing your feelings and all these different things, because, like, when you do that, she can't take that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you have an issue, you need to talk to the men above you. If an issue with brother, you gotta go through the law to find out what you gotta do with it, because men can think rationally, like, okay, this is what you think and this is what's going on. But women, they think in their mind that now I see weakness in you.
Yeah, right.
And now I'm going to be Jada and take over, because all that came from was Will doing it one time.
Yeah.
And she just took over.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. In other words, do not pillow talk with your woman, man. Do not be sitting up around the house talking about all your problems and all the things that the brother said, all the things going on in your mind, going on in your head, all the problems you're having at the school and all your responsibilities, and you don't know why you got to do this and you don't know why you got to do that, and so-and-so's doing this and so-and-so's doing that, and you think she's listening. You think she's just, oh yeah, she's feeling you, like, oh yeah, that's heavy. And you think you're venting to your woman and just expressing yourself, and you think she wants you to do it. But she acts like she's listening, all she's doing is seeing all the weakness in you. And especially if you talking about other brothers, man. If you sitting around talking about all the other brothers and who's doing this and who's doing that, and you pillow talking, she's watching, man. She's seeing how weak you are. And if an evil, wicked woman will find a way to throw it in your face, embarrass you on Facebook, and try to break up the brotherhood. You understand? Ahab did that. You know what I'm saying? With the prophets talking about what they was doing. And Jezebel was listening and plotting on the priests of the Lord. You understand? And wanted to have them put to death. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You cannot pillow talk with your woman. You have to, like the brother said, if you got an issue, you need to go to the men above you. You need to get counsel. First of all, in the Israelite school of U.P.K, we don't vent to each other. If you have an issue, present your issue and let's fix it. We fix problems. We don't, deal with emotions and how you're feeling. If there's a problem, we got to deal with it. But damn sure, don't sit around and pillow talk with your woman. Don't be talking about other brothers to your woman. Because hell, not that this is any brother's woman in the school, but if your woman is a whore, she'll be looking to sleep with another man. You understand? If you sitting around talking about other brothers and you think she's listening, to be an ear, but she's looking just to hurt you constantly. An evil woman, that is. All right. Somebody online, you have something?
So, I had a question about what the story about that woman that authority over a man, sir.
Go ahead.
So, even with that, like, you know what I'm saying, like, with that, could that also be like, because women oftentimes necessarily come off like a whore, or just, try to just put that go away into a situation sometimes a woman can use femininity and be real soft spoken, and you know what I mean. She can use that to start over brother too, right? Like,
Yeah, she damn sure can. She can use her femininity to. Matter of fact, give me Ecclesiasticus verse 9. Chapter 9, verse 1. Yeah, she can do it in any type of way. It ain't like she's like she has to get loud and boisterous, put her foot down like a man, chin up, chest out, and she's just blazing on you to usurp authority. No, she can usurp authority, like most women do, just with her body. You know what I'm saying? And even a woman's gonna use, sex, hell. Whatever you're weak in, that's what a woman is gonna use. Whatever she finds out that you're weak in, she'll use that to be the authority over you. Go ahead, when you got it, going to read.
Come. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
Now, who can break that down? You got it?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Come. Don't be jealous over the wife of thy bosom. Don't have any, because if a woman, she starts doing, she can start doing better or whatever the case is. Don't have any type of jealousy or want to be in her position because of any reason. Then it says, teach her not an evil lesson against thyself, which means I'm not going to say you're going to necessarily teach her to do it, but you're going to teach her to do it by not correcting her. If you let things slide, that's the version of you teaching her you doing an evil lesson against yourself. If she starts saying something about whoever and you don't say, you got an issue, you need to take it to that sister. You don't say that, you teaching her an evil lesson against yourself.
Well, how is she teaching you? How are you teaching her an evil lesson against yourself? You got to break down that part.
Go ahead. It's like
maybe give me an example.
She could be. Try to think of something real quick. It could be a lot of things. It could be give me seconds.
I know, sweat. Anybody online? Want to give it a shot? How do you teach a woman an evil lesson against yourself? Go ahead,
is a way that happens by letting her think that she in control, letting her think she can do what she want to do, stuff
Okay, you on it. How would she think that? Why would she think that though? Or how would she think that? What would you be doing to show her that? I think Yahanna got it.
I got it now. It's like when you go and say something against the brothers, you teaching her that she can come back and be saying something against the sister. So it's like you teaching her an evil lesson against yourself.
How is that against yourself though?
Trying to see if you're getting that, so it's like
okay. Put it like this, man. Let's say you going to camp.
Okay.
All right. You know you got to go to camp. Camp's mandatory. Saturday we going to camp. She knows that. She don't want you to go to camp. She does not like you going to camp. She don't like you being around the brothers. There's things she wants to do on a Saturday that she wants you to help her do, but she does not want you going to camp. Right? She knows if you are unclean, you can't go to camp. So she's not gonna say she's not gonna say, nigga, stay your ass at home. I don't want you going to camp. What's she gonna do? She gonna go ahead, bro.
Right. She's gonna try to sleep with you.
She's gonna try to sleep. She's gonna try to sleep with you, even though you done told her now I'm going to camp. I gotta go to camp. This is what I'm doing. I'm a priest of the Lord. On Saturday I go to camp. Okay, that's what you do. Okay, I got you. No sweat. Why don't you come over here? You go over there. She starts, play whatever. Give you some wine, give you some drink, cook you up a plate. You know what I'm saying? She's using her femininity. You You know what I'm saying? She's doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all lay down, you can't go to camp. She knows now that you're weak up under vagina. You know what I'm saying? And she can use that against you. Like whatever you say, you teaching her an evil lesson by not standing on the thing you say. And you'll find that a lot when you trying to come up in the truth and you saying you standing on the law, statutes, and commandments. You're going to teach class, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You're a priest of the Lord, you don't do that. She's going to try you. And if you fail, you are teaching her an evil lesson against you. You get what I'm saying? You're teaching her that you are weak under her. You're weak under, her house. If you say, woman, I don't want you doing this and doing that. You're not eating pork. You're not eating crab, shrimp, and lobster. You're not celebrating your friend's birthday. I don't want you going to that birthday party. I don't want you doing none of that. And she says, well, you got to get out of my house, get up out of here, give me back my car keys and all that. And you say, shit. All right, man, a few hours. And you go there for a few hours, but you need to be learning to change, man. You teaching her an evil lesson. You're teaching her that you do not really stand on what you're talking about and that she can use everything she has against you. She knows your weaknesses. You get what I'm saying? Like when a woman tells you to get out her house, you need to pack up your things and get the hell out. You need to damn near Imagine Shabbat, Barak, about face up out of there. You get what I'm saying? Like no hesitation. If a woman says get out my house, you have to get out. Whoever. I'll give y'all a quick story. When I'm first coming into the truth, not to talk about myself, when I'm first coming into the truth, my own mother came against the priest of the Lord. You understand? I'm young in the truth, trying to come up in the truth. And the brothers, it was Officer Gabar and another brother, he fell out the school. You know what I'm saying? But they was coming to visit me. I think they brought me a garment and all types of things, right? Just to check on a young brother coming into the truth, because I'm an out of town brother. I'm not in Philadelphia or New York or DC, right?
Okay.
So they coming. They come to the crib. My mom's tripping. I don't know them brothers. You got these brothers coming from woo woo. I don't know. Well, now she ain't saying brothers, right? She like, I don't know. You got these strangers coming up in here, woo 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 woo. And I'm like, man, you just preach to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I said, I'll tell her, these are my brothers, man. They ain't got to go nowhere. They ain't got to go. They should walk through the back door or some shit. It's like, but they ain't got to do nothing. They with me, woo woo. These are my brothers, man. I'm standing on that, right? And then, they leave. Woo. My mom's like, you disrespected me. You did this. You did that. You need to get the fuck out of my house. All this. It's like because of language, but she's saying all this, right? I stood up and said, you was one miserable bee. You understand? And to my mother. And told her about the laws, the statutes, the commandments. She said, I got to get out. I went, got me a duffel bag, got the hell out, man. And that's what you got to do. Got me a little hotel room, whatever. Saved my little money up, got me an apartment complex. Soon after that, Yamiyah come down, Tazai come down, Yahweh, the Kaswa, all these brothers come. And then you see what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? We're able to teach class in this building. Most of our brothers. Not to put it on me, but just that's the strength you gotta have, and that's what we learn from Commander Yahanna. But if you a Will Smith type cat, man, you know what I mean, you can't accomplish anything like that. You can't build any nation like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian man has to fight. That lust to want to serve his woman, to want to be up under his mother. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand as a man in the truth and follow these laws. No, right?
Okay.
Go ahead, bro. Hold on 1 second, Makula.
That's the difference between like a religion like Christianity and the truth of the Bible, because there are Christian pastors always pushing it on our culture to basically push a woman first and over you, but you read in the Bible, my son, don't give your strength over to a woman. And right. That confuses somebody that came with Christianity, like, oh, you know what I mean? They can't. It's simple, but they can't even get that because the Most High he don't even want you to give your strength over to a woman at all.
Damn right. Damn right. And what you're saying is absolutely right. Like Christianity is so evil in the sense that they went to the extent of saying that the greatest man to walk this earth, Jesus Christ, that's ignorantly known to the world, right?
Okay.
That he did not have a physical father. Like, they hate a man's masculinity that much. They say Jesus Christ did not have a father, that Mary had to get pregnant by an angel. Because there's just no way that a black man could raise a son so righteously. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, like that shit, that thing goes back far. It's to discredit, a black man, Hispanic, Native American, Indian man. That they have changed, just make a whole new religion out of the whole thing. When the Bible says he comes from the seed of David and gets the whole lineage of all the men he comes from. You know what I'm saying? And that's the oppressor. If he teaches that you come from the greatest lineage, from the greatest men that ever walked this earth, you know what I mean, then he has an issue on his hand. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead, Mark Balak.
It's like, how do you come at the situation like, say if a brother might not look at his woman as a whore, you know what I'm saying, to go back to what you were saying, not using the femininity to authority. So it's like, with him coming into the truth, he got to get past her, you know what I mean, specifically celebrate her birthday, holidays, and all that. He done built up the nice little American dream with a nice little career. They got their jobs, you know what I'm saying. You know how you see the couples on, you know what I mean, social media all the time. But then it comes down to the truth, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you break that? Because it's dealing with her. To me, you know what I mean? I'm trying to understand, because it's being like it's dealing with the women, and it's also brothers just working so hard to get to a point where they're comfortable. It is like, you know what I mean? You comfortable with her, and you comfortable where you at in America. You get what I'm trying to say, so it's like.
Okay, are you saying there's a man who's serving a woman who's a whore, but he's comfortable with it? He's okay with it?
Like, he's comfortable with it. Like, it's where he at, you know what I'm saying? Like, the truth, okay, is he's comfortable with the woman, like, he consider her not to be a whore, you know what I mean? But, of course, you know what I mean, she celebrates birthdays, Sunday, you know what I mean, all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? We understand the spirit behind that. But, you know what I mean, like, he ain't saying, the whole thing, they live like a so-called good life, like, they gotta, you know what I mean, like, you see the couples on Facebook, like, the marriage, like, they got their house, the careers, they living good, eat 3 times a day, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, like, they got that kind of life, but it ain't like, he wouldn't say, like, she out there, you know what I mean, on the street corners and that like that, she just pretty much going to a slave, coming back, they doing the same thing, they're going to a slave, coming back, but they celebrate America. And like, if you start him coming to the truth, he got to get past her and his comfortable life in America.
And you saying this type brother, he wants to come into the truth?
Well, I mean, if you kind of want to come into the truth, I think you would. But how do you get them to see like that's wrong?
Okay, you just teach. You go out on the street and we teach against all sin. So, being a Christian is a sin according to the Most High. Eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, shaving your beard, being a whore, serving your woman. It's all sin. So you just teach them. But it'd be like anything else. But I think the question would be different if you're saying there's a brother who wants to come into the truth, but he can't because he serves his woman. Then he just have to fight that. He have to get counsel and get strength just to, stop doing anything that he's doing. Like, he'd have to stop smoking cigarettes, stop eating crab, shrimp, lobster, stop getting high. He'd have to stop, hating his brother, and then he'd have to stop serving his woman. That's more like a brother trying to come into the truth, trying to come into this body, but what's stopping him is serving his woman. But then he just has to fight that like anything else. And he has to be prepared to lose his woman. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a brother and a sister who are just living their American Christian life and do not care about serving the Lord, well then you would just teach. You would just teach them. And like I said, brothers are in hell, man. Like no brother's really comfortable. Like, a lot of brothers are high under the influence of drugs because no brother likes his woman dressing like a whore. No brother likes, being disrespected in his house. But through Christianity, he accepts it. And he probably has a drug addiction and all types of things going on. But as far as you just teach. You just teach them that being a Christian is unlawful. Serving America is unlawful.
Okay.
You know, anything they're doing. You know.
Okay. Come on, sir.
No sweat. You know, the Pledge of Allegiance is wrong. If they doing that, whatever they're doing that's serving America or against the scriptures, you just teach them the right way to do things. And you leave that up to the Most High. Was there more on that?
Come. Verse 2, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance.
Right, and give not thy soul to a woman, like Barack Yalla was saying. You can't give your soul over to a woman, man. It's perfectly fine, right, to bring your woman a gift, to say nice, kind words, sweet words to her, to get her flowers. It's wonderful to do all those things. Take her on dates if she's deserving of it. Get her a dessert, whatever she likes. Candy, the chocolates, that's all wonderful. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't serving no holidays or Valentine's Day. If you're just doing something because you want to do it, that's your woman, that's fine. And she's deserving of it, that's fine. But a man cannot give his soul over to a woman like Will Smith. Will Smith has completely given his soul over to Jada Pinkett Smith, and that's why, so much so, he could not laugh at a joke. He couldn't laugh at a joke and not even just stop laughing. He had to get up and go harm a brother. You know what I'm saying? And that is, you know, that can get you put to death, man. And it's good for all brothers to understand that. And we push in the Israelite School U.P.K. You do not have the right to harm a brother because your woman is unhappy. You understand?
Come.
Is there any other questions online? And brothers got to fight that spirit, especially us being here in Atlanta, right? Atlanta is a woman-driven, woman-spirited city. And no brother coming up in the Israelite School U.P.K. here in Atlanta can have, you know, that spirit of wanting to serve a woman and wanting to be a gentleman. I don't want to hear that term. You know, there are no gentlemen in here. Like chivalry, I believe, real chivalry, even that is conduct between knights. It's conduct between men, right? How to treat brothers, brotherhood. Because all men know there's a way you have to conduct yourself with another brother because the risk of violence is at any moment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you know, like women don't respect that. Women that get up in your face, say things about you, and to think that because she's a woman and she's 5'2", that she just has the right to say and do whatever she wants. That she can slap you across the face, scratch you, key up your car, bust out your windows, rip your shirts, do everything she wants to you, throw your clothes out the house, and she has to burn your house like Lisa, what's her name? Left Eye Lopez, burn down her brother's house. Because she's unhappy or mad or whatever it is. A woman does not have the right to do that, and a man cannot put up with that. And men, there's a way we conduct ourselves as brothers because we know things can go left quick. You know what I'm saying?
Come.
So all that, we gotta, brothers in here, you gotta fight that spirit. Not saying anybody's battling it, but if you are battling your woman and serving her, get counsel. Get counsel because it will destroy you. Give your soul over to a woman, it will destroy your soul. All right. Any questions online?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Someone says Salakia?
This is also 50 Paratiza out of Yonkers, New York. I was just checking in for the Passover catering council.
Okay, it's Shalom Lord Christ, brother. I think you may be in the I think this is an online class. I think you were looking for the Passover council, right?
Go ahead, huh? So I got one if I may. this is also how you that we were using the call-in number for class for the council number all this week, and we didn't realize the class was gonna run late today, and we had set it up at 9:15. So like y'all.
I got you, no sweat. Let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Any questions in the room? All right, with that, pass the class over to Officer Brachiala.
One class taught by Captain. I'm Officer Brachiala. I'm doing the security announcement. I.S.U.P.K. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, comes out of Numbers 18:21. Also Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'asera, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. It's also a priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming holy convocations, of course, is the I.S.U.P.K 53rd Passover, April 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And reminder for any brothers who want to join the school as far as prospecting to be a trooper, to start wearing all black. It includes boots, shirts, pants, headband, scarf. Give it one of the officers to find out our camp address and times when we're headed to the school. With that, I'm in Israel, Major. We get a courtesy salute to the teacher. In Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh
Yahweh.
Hands down. Any ladies online? No. With that, men Israel class dismissed.